My name is Yolima Vargas. I'm a biologist from Colombia and I'm a workshop facilitator from BTE. In German, that means Development Meet Education. It is a program from Global Engagement that pretends give the view from Global South here in Germany. Today, I want to talk with you about the effects of climate change in Colombia. But first, I want to tell you where Colombia is located. Colombia belongs to Latin America and is on the border between Central and South America. This geographical location makes Colombia a rich country in biodiversity of plants, animals, landscapes, and cultures. But just as Colombia is biodiverse, it is also vulnerable, especially to climate change. First, because of human pressure on its territorial and marine ecosystems, and secondly, because of its location in the tropics, where scientists believe that climate variation could generate strong impacts, especially in the Andes, where most of the country population lives. This climate variation in Colombia may be reflected in a change in the rainfall regime with very pronounced dry periods or very heavy rains that together with current deforestation and degradation may accelerate erosion processes. Another effect due to climate change is on health. High regions in the Andes that were previously colder have increased their temperature. This implies that vectors of disease such as malaria, dengue, yellow fever, or other news like Zika or chikungunya will be able to live at higher altitudes, creating new epidemics in regions where people were not used to it. The change in the hydrological system that makes strong the dry seasons can produce in agriculture and livestock increased aridity, soil erosion, and finally desertification. And water scarcity can lead to blackouts due to failures in hydroenergy generation, which corresponds to 69% of the country's energy matrix. But the most serious issue is also possible water distribution problems and drinking water outages. In the other scenario, with strong rains, there is a risk of flooding of crops and villages, as well as avalanches and landslides that could accelerate internal displacements and migrations. Colombia has two seas, Pacific and Atlantic, 300 beaches, 2,900 kilometers of coast, and 20 islands. With the expected rise in the sea level and intensification of hurricanes, millions of people are at risk of exposure to flooding in coastal zones. That means affectation in tourism, crops, and also water sources because of seawater intrusion. In the past, Colombia faced strong storms, but hurricanes were not usual, much less as intense as Iota, that in 2020 destroyed 80% of the island of Providence in the Caribbean. People who live there denounce that after a year, they still live in tents without toilets, without schools or hospitals. They also say that the government of Colombia has spent a lot of money on reconstruction, something like 30 years of the island budget. They believe that there is a lot of corruption and that maybe there are people who want to keep the land and make infrastructure projects like a marine that the local people did not want. All of the above are problems that are even experienced in the country today. and they may get worse. For this reason, the only possible way forward for Colombia is to try to adapt. And that's a very difficult mission when Colombia is under pressure from the most powerful countries in the world. Germany is one of them, who through their trade models want to exploit its natural resources. Preserving nature in Colombia is the only hope of adaptation, and not just 30% of it as the current government promised in Glasgow. The country should commit itself to stopping the destruction of natural regions, to stopping deforestation and degradation, especially in Amazonas. Thank you very much.